Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's Saturday night. I don't think I've done Ask the Drummer on a Saturday because I'm normally out somewhere at a gig on a Saturday night. But tonight is a different one because it's also our milestone. It's the 200th episode of Ask the Drummer. When I started this 5 years ago, I didn't think I'd go longer than maybe 10 episodes or something, but uh, this is the 200th episode. I'm really proud about Ask the Drummer. But I'm really pleased with how it's going and everything. But anyways, I know it's a bit early than the scheduled time. We said it's like 8 o'clock, but we're ready now. And our guest actually just came from a band practice, so I'm sure he's pretty tired. It's 7 minutes till 8 o'clock here in the UK in the evening. So it's 7 minutes till 4 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning in Manila. I'm sure that a lot of my friends there are already asleep, and it's going to be a relaxing day tomorrow because it's a Sunday. It's the day they go to church and stuff like that. But, anyways, um, so this year I'm actually celebrating the 30th year of living here in the UK, in Manchester, well, in the UK. So it's like 30 years of living the dream. I'm originally from the Philippines. I'm sure that a lot of you already know about that. Um, and for this year, because it's my 30th here in Manchester, I've decided to do 200 gigs a year challenge. And the band, or the drummer of the band that I'm going to have this evening, they're actually the first one, the first gig I went to this year, at the Spinning Top. I saw this band and I asked him after the gig if he'd be interested in guesting on Ask the Drummer, and luckily he said yes. And he's here now. So, my dear friends, please welcome Danny Barker.
Hi
Hey!
guys. First of all, congratulations on your 200 episodes. That's great.
Thank
Great milestone.
Thank you so much, and thank you for saying yes to Ask the Drummer.
No, it's a
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah. I should have said that Danny Barker from Blink-282.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Because
right.
yeah, when I posted it on my wall, my Facebook page, I said, "What's better than 182?" Of course, it's 282 because you're 100 better
Exactly.
than Blink 182. Yeah, so that's how the band that I saw at the Spinning Top in Stockport. So how have you been since that evening?
It's
Been
been great. It's been a hectic, manic year. I've loved music all my life. I've been a drummer for about 27 years now.
wow.
But my day job is I'm a personal trainer. So yeah, I managed to balance the football and the music together.
Yeah,
And obviously, having the second name of Barker, I had to live in the footsteps of my idol Travis Barker and play the drums ever since I was 11. But we actually haven't had any gigs since the Spinning Top because I've been away working in Portugal with my business.
yeah,
Um, but we've got a few coming up, which I told you about just before we came on, and yeah, I'm looking forward to those up in
oh,
Widnes and
that's
in Catterick and in Birmingham in Subside.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, looking
Oh,
forward to
that's
that.
brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned all that before because I didn't know about the being a personal trainer and all that. That you're in football and things. But let me welcome you to Ask the Drummer. So episode 200 is all about you, Danny Barker. I don't know if you remember this, but when you said that your name is Danny Barker, I kind of smiled because I
Yeah.
thought, have you just adopted that surname because
No,
you're
it's
Blake
definitely
282?
me.
That is actually your surname. You are
That's
Danny
actually my
Barker.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, where are the Barkers from?
Well,
Yeah.
my dad was born in Manchester, so he's from Salford originally, and um, in terms of the heritage, I'm not really sure. I've always wondered if I've had any descendants from across the pond in America, but yeah, in terms of heritage, I'm not actually sure where we originate.
Yeah, yeah. So your dad's from Salford.
My dad's from Salford. Yeah, all my dad's family are from Manchester. Yeah, I lived there for a few years.
Oh, right. So you you grew up in Manchester, or did you
No,
move?
my dad was in the Navy, so he was down in Portsmouth, and I was born down there. But he's originally from Manchester. My mum was born in London, so I now live in the Midlands, in the small county of Rutland, and my bandmates live in Hereford. So it's quite a drive for me. It's about 2.5, 3 hours drive, to come to
Oh, I
practice.
see.
Um, but yeah, it's in terms of Manchester, it was a good few years ago, probably just pre-COVID, when I first qualified as a personal trainer. Actually, well, it was a while before, about 2014 is when I
Yeah.
lived in Manchester, and I've got family up there that I stayed with. And yeah, it was a couple of years. I worked in the gym in the Printworks in the city centre.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Well, are you from a musical family? Being, you know, coming.
My dad acts in theatre, in amateur dramatics,
Oh,
and he sings a little bit. And
yeah.
I've played the drums since I was 11, but I've also sang all my life as well. So I like to sing, but it's
Yeah.
always difficult to sing behind the drum kit, especially when Travis doesn't sing really at all.
No, that's all right. But why drums? I mean, what got you into drumming?
Do you know what? It was the first day of secondary school. I was 11 years old, and we got a tour around the music department, and they said, "What if anybody wants to learn any instrument? Just write your name down." And for some reason, I chose the drums. I have no idea why. I just remember telling my parents, coming home on the first day of school, that I'm learning my drums, and them absolutely devastated because it's the loudest instrument. They said, "You're not having a drum kit in this house unless you pay for it yourself." So I ended up saving all my paper round money to buy my first drum kit. I think it was about £300,
Oh,
and then I
wow.
played every day after school
Yeah.
for a good 5 years.
And what about the neighbors? Were they happy about you?
We had an agreement, so I could only play from the hours of 3 till 6,
Okay.
and then that was it. But I got my 3 hours in a day, and I made the most of it. That's for sure.
Oh, that's brilliant. So what was your first band before forming Blink-282?
So I was in a band at school called Postmark December, and we were together a good few years. I mean, this was a long time ago now. Yeah, over 20 years, 23 or 24 years. And we just played local gigs, and it was more of
Yeah,
a like a, I want to say post-hardcore emo kind of punk rock type band. It was good fun.
yeah, yeah. Because when I was writing my script, I normally Google the name of the guest, the drummer
Yeah.
guest, and I come across this thing that says that you're actually a local legend or a local hero.
I'm not sure where you found that.
But I think I realized why now because I've also found a podcast that you did. I think it was 2 years ago. It was from a mindset kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like, yeah. So I listened to it today when I was at work, and I thought now I can understand why he's regarded as a local hero or a local legend, because you didn't talk about drumming. That's why I was a bit surprised that you said you've been drumming for so many years, because
yeah,
I thought you just because you're a football player,
yeah. That's right.
when you were young, and from that podcast I found out that you actually went to Brazil.
Yeah,
So
that's right. So
it's a football
it was
player.
always growing up. It was the choice of being on a direction of a fork in the road, if you like. I was Music was my passion, but also football was as well. And I always dreamt of being a footballer, and that was my main life. And I was lucky enough to live in Brazil for 4 years, and I was a professional out there. But music was always an escape for me. And linking the two, my business is called Fitness Escapes.
Yeah.
because I find that the fitness helps me escape, but also music does as well. And being able to have the combination to combine the two sometimes, especially in my classes, in my fitness classes, of how
Yeah.
music can really resonate with how you feel while exercising as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, drumming and music has always been like my escapism, and I'm like you. I give myself a challenge to go to as many gigs as I can. Maybe not 200, but but um, but I try and go. I definitely try and go a few times a month to get my live music fix. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, how did you, especially when you were in Brazil, when you were doing this football thing, it's almost because you were only 18, I believe, when you went there.
Yeah, that's correct.
You
Yeah, I was
still playing.
18 till I was about 22. Yeah, so on and off with the coming back for the changing the visa and things like that.
Yeah.
But then injury ended my professional football career, which is why I then went into personal training and trying to stay in fitness. So there was a period of time where I had to take a break from drumming because I was traveling the world and I didn't have a drum kit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but every time um, I'd try and create opportunities for me to play. Like there was a church in Brazil that helped let me play every so often
Yeah.
there, which was
Yeah.
great. And then there's a few bands that actually one of my good friends who I used to play football with in Brazil. He's in one of the world's best Red Hot Chili Peppers tribute band.
Oh,
Um, so
right.
so they travel the world and play.
Yeah.
And I used to play football with him in Brazil, but now he's chosen music as well, and he's amazing
Yeah.
frontman for those.
I'm just
Um,
surprised that because maybe it's the topics that you talked about in that podcast. There's no mention of music. That's why I was surprised to hear about your
it was
drumming.
because I think the one you're thinking of, it was from one of my clients called Victoria Maskell, and it was all about the mindset and of how I recovered after my career ending, so my football career.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so it was about working. You're right though. We are actually ready to do episode 2 of that to carry on because there was so much to talk about. So I really want to have music as a big influence through
yeah,
my journey into my 30s, especially.
yeah, yeah. That's good. So, I mean, I got to this conclusion that maybe because your football career is finished, and then you turn into drums. That's why I thought when you said like when since you were 11. So that
Yeah.
means you
So I
had to take sort of like a back burner, isn't it? You had to stop
yeah.
drumming to
No,
just
exactly.
do the football. So what about bands? So you weren't in any other bands at the time?
No, so the band I was in at school and then throughout college, and then there's some local bands that I've helped out with and do some recording for. But yeah, it took a big break until um, the guys who I'm in the band with now put out an advert, and I've been a massive Blink-182 fan
Yeah,
all of my life. Like I've been lucky enough to meet them a few times, and I've met Travis a few times, and um, did the whole tour
yeah, yeah.
in the UK. So it was always that once I'd had an opportunity to play, I was never going to look back really.
So they were together. The other two band members. They
No,
were.
no, they didn't know each other either.
Oh, they didn't know each other. How
No,
did
so
you meet?
yeah, so Ryan put out an advert on one of the Blink-182 fan pages on Facebook, and just said, "I'm looking for my Mark and Travis, to create a tribute band." So I contacted and said, "Look, my second name's Barker. I've played drums all my life. I know every Blink song on drums. Um, like, how about we meet up?" Him and Dan live quite close together. One lives in Hereford and the other lives in the Forest of Dean, so it's pretty close. But I was miles away. But I did tell him, look, I'm committed. It doesn't matter about the miles. I've got my camper van, so I can drive to gigs and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was around about. It must be. I want to say two years ago in May. So when it gets to May, it'll be 2 years in May since we first met, and then yeah, we've done a good few gigs since then.
Yeah. So did you click straight away, the three of you?
Yeah, it was strange, really. It was we have really similar personalities to Blink-182. Like Dan, who obviously is Mark, the bassist, and he's quite reserved and funny, and Ryan's just comedy and tries to thrive off the audience and onto the stage. I mean,
Yeah,
you've seen us, and
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it was always still in the early days. I mean, we don't get to practice all the time, which is quite tough because of our lives and our jobs and how far we live away. But it was always something that we were, if we were committed, then we'll travel and we'll try and at least meet up once a month, and then
yeah.
definitely get some more gigs booked in.
So the songs that you play from, of course, from the Blink 182 catalog, uh, are those ones that just the popular ones? You try to make sure that all the ones that people can join in at the gigs,
Yeah,
or
we try and
also,
change the set list up.
yeah,
So we try and mix it up depending on the location and the venue, but we always try and keep the main core of the ones that everybody can sing along to.
yeah,
Because sometimes when we're booked by a place, it's it's not like they're selling tickets just so they know that that's who we're going to be playing. It could be anybody turning up, so we try and make sure that at least people can dance along to a good four or five of them, and then we do some deep cuts in there as well from
yeah, yeah.
back in the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit that I'm not really a big Blink 182. I
Okay,
think I think I'm too old for them. I think I'm more
I
so
don't
like
think
the.
I'll ever get too old.
But I know that my nephews they like Blink
Oh,
182.
nice.
So yeah, they're very. But I went to see you because I thought, oh, I know a few songs, and I want to sort of like have this as my first gig of the year. So I'm really glad that I did because I really enjoyed that gig at the
Oh,
Spit.
thank you.
Yeah. What I'm going to ask you is, what do you say to people who kind of, a bit dismissive about tribute bands? Because
Luckily,
I've experienced anyone, so like say, oh, it's a tribute band, I won't go and see them, things like that.
I
Or
think I think with it was never a case when we first did this. It was mainly a case of because we just loved playing the songs and listening to the songs. We didn't know how big it'd get, and we didn't know how much we'd travel and play. So more to the fact of we just wanted to book shows just to get our experience more than what people actually thought. Um, I think I wouldn't say it's a saturated market because I think there's a space for anyone to play music if they enjoy it. But I
yeah,
think if for people that can't get tickets, to go and see their favorite band who live on the other side of the world, then it's just a great way to just have a fun night to the type of music that you enjoy.
yeah, yeah. It is big business, isn't it? All these, I mean, there are festivals with all tribute
Yeah,
bands.
yeah, we've contacted a few to try and get some maybe in for next year. So but there's I was surprised after doing my research of how many there actually are. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't mind. I don't mind tribute bands. I mean, like I said, Blink 182, they don't live here. They don't live in the UK. It's too
Mm.
far to go to America and stuff. So, all fans of Blink 182, you can just go and see you.
I
And,
think it's more about marketing. That's what we've always struggled with because Facebook deleted um, our page, basically told us what we were for impersonating. But obviously we're a tribute band, so that's our job. So in terms of the marketing, none of us are really clued up on that aspect of it. I think if we had people that can give us a better outreach in terms of where we could reach to, that'd be what we'd look for in the future. But it's mainly difficult for the marketing aspect because there's so many different bands out there.
oh, I didn't know that about. No wonder you haven't got any Facebook presence, is because
No,
of that.
exactly. Our page got deleted, yeah, and we've struggled to then have access to it because we got deleted for impersonation. Even though, obviously, that's what we are. We're a tribute band.
Even if you write it out instead of just the number 282, even if it's just two and then eight, like
Yeah,
words.
it was all of our posts because we'd play their songs and their music. it got
Oh, I
taken
see.
off because they're of copyright and infringement. But yet we weren't really sure how to go about it because there's other pages, there's other tribute bands that have got pages, but just seem to be ours that got taken down, and we need to build it back up again. We've got an Instagram page, but
Yeah, but you're okay on Instagram.
yeah, we're building it up slowly. But again, it's the same with being able to boost the post and marketing. We're
Yeah.
unable to use the original content because of copyright, so it makes it tough.
Oh, I didn't know that because I had posted the video that I took of Blink-282, and then
Oh,
it did.
great.
Yeah, it was. I think it's still there. I don't think I got a notification from Facebook saying that
Oh,
it's.
great. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to have a look.
I'll tag you and then I'll let you know because I have posted it and I've also said that this is quite good because you can't really. They don't come here often, do they? I mean
No,
the
it
bangers.
was especially when, I mean, Tom only joined the band again after leaving the band a couple of years ago, and
Yeah,
their tour. I went to their tour at the back end of 2024,
yeah,
and yeah, they didn't come back in 25. They toured America again, but I think they're going to stay in the studio now for a good year and write some
yeah.
new songs and new material. So I can't see them coming over again soon.
Oh, well, so every member of Blink-282, do you do like research, find out more about the each individual band member, like
I
how
think
they dress or how they talk and
I don't honestly don't think we need to because we've been fans for so long and we've seen
okay.
so many gigs. We know their mannerisms and know what they're like. I mean, for me, um, I'm sure you've interviewed so many drummers over your time, this being the 200th episode. But for me, Travis Barker is so versatile and different. It's so hard to even copy him because he's just a
Yeah,
magician. And the amount of times he changes things up on stage live compared to the album. So we're currently learning and trying to be versatile to play to a click,
mm,
to keep
yeah,
in time,
yeah.
um, which is something as a kid I never did. So it's been a great learning curve for me. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, you have mentioned that you've met Travis Barker before.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I
What
met
was
him
it?
when
What was it like? So when
uh,
you met
I
him,
was the first time I was kind of petrified because they always say never meet your heroes, um, just in case you get a bad experience. But I met them first back in 2017, when Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio was in Blink. So when Tom wasn't a part of the band, I'd seen them. I've seen them back when I was at school back in 2004. So I've seen them over 20 times. But when I actually met them, it was because I had the VIP ticket to meet and greet and things like that. So I managed to meet Travis and tell him that I was a Barker. And I've got, you probably can't see it, but I've got
yeah, yeah,
a tattoo of my drum
from
kit,
yeah, yeah.
and he signed my shoulder as well. So
So you got it, yeah, you got it inked.
I got it so I got it tattooed. But yeah, the first time it was meeting him and telling him, my second name's Barker. I've been a fan for so long, and he gave me a pair of his drumsticks. And then
Wow.
I have I have a lot of his brand famous stars and straps, obviously because of me impersonating him with the band. But when they said they were going to tour in 2024-25, I made it my ambition to go to every UK show. So I went to every show, and made sure I was close to the front, and I had a T-shirt. Am I allowed to swear on here or not?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, is that fine? I had a T-shirt that said Travis motherfucking Barker on it in big writing, and that was from his brand, Famous Stars and Straps. And because I was at the front and it was really noticeable, he'd always see me at the shows. So every show he'd like throw a stick down and I'd get a drumstick. I must have about 12 of his drumsticks, but I'm very lucky. And then the last night of the tour in 2024 was in Glasgow, and my family surprised me with a meet and greet ticket to meet Travis. at his show. So we were there with about 15 other people before. We were playing Connect 4, just
Yeah,
sat in his studio. He rang Courtney and on FaceTime, and we got to just chat about his journey, and obviously his plane crash and the trials and tribulations that he's been through of losing his best friend and his manager. But
yeah,
also I got a piece of art that was done by one of my friends, one of my good friends. She does animal art, but she makes them wearing clothes. So I said, how about doing one of his pugs, because he's got these pug dogs dressed as him. So it's basically wearing his shirt. I'll see if I can. I don't know whether I can show the picture of me
oh
and
yeah,
Travis, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
the piece of art is basically him
yeah,
with
yeah.
his tattoos and drumsticks, and I give it to him as a present, and he really loved it, and it said he was giving it to his daughter Alabama. So that was a
Wow.
pivotal moment. It was great.
Yeah, but have you told them that you're in a Blink-182 tribute band?
Yeah, I have, and because I've shared some of the stuff on Instagram, and I tag him in it a few times. He's seen my posts and seen my stories, so he can
Oh,
see what I'm doing. So it's very proud.
oh wow, wow, that's brilliant. I mean, you should invite him to one of your shows. To
Oh
this.
no, could you imagine? Well, we all said, because I went to Warped Tour last summer in California,
Yeah,
um, and I saw him there again because he was supporting his son. Landon was playing, um, and he ended up coming out for this. Have you heard of a punk band called The Paradox?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they Travis ended up coming out on stage and playing with them because he's their manager, and yeah, we were saying that because Dan the bassist came as well, and we were saying how good it would be to go and do a little tour in California of all the old school places where Blink used to play in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to a few of the bars and saw some really live, really like deep cut live music with only about a couple of hundred people there, and it was great, but it obviously cost a lot of money to get a tour like that and the
Yeah.
and the opportunity to do it, but it'd definitely be an ambition.
Wow. What about the other band members? Have they met their counterpart, or what would you call it?
No, I don't. They've been to see them, but they haven't. I don't think they've met them.
Yeah, yeah,
But I know that one of the guys has met Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio, um, and I think one of the other guys has met from Green Day. I might be wrong, but yeah, in terms of Blink, I know they've seen them live, but I don't think they've met them.
yeah. Well, I mean, you're obviously, you're a fan, and you've met him and everything. But being a musician yourself, do you sometimes get like access to backstage? And
Not not
not, no.
not with Blink especially, and
Oh,
maybe a few of um, the local venues that are around where I am. Like I go to a lot of gigs at Rock City in
yeah,
Nottingham,
in Nottingham, yeah.
um, and um, I'm always around the front of different gigs, and they're quite familiarised with me going all the time. My drumstick collection must be ridiculous. Not just the ones I use, but the ones I've collected. Um, but I'd love to have that opportunity to be able to do that more.
Yeah, so when you go to gigs, I mean, I do that when I go to a gig. I always make sure that I position myself where I can see the drummer. I've got like a
Definitely.
clear view of the drummers.
Sometimes I'm even going to gigs just because I've heard good things about the drummer, or I like the drummer. I don't necessarily like the music, but
Yeah,
I like the drummer. And
and try and meet them after, and
yeah, exactly. A good example of that
yeah,
is there's a guy that he used to be the drummer of Holding Absence, Ashley Green, and he's a fantastic drummer. And he's just started a new band called We'll Be Okay Here, so I'm looking forward to go and see how they progress. But Holding Absence are a great Welsh band, and Ashley I've met a few times, and I just love seeing different drummers' versatility. Um, in It's such a craft, it's such an art, and
It's true.
I
Yeah.
probably I probably lost a lot of confidence over the years of when I was playing football because I I stopped dedicating my life to drums because
Okay. Yeah.
football took precedence. So I do feel like even though I've played the drums since I was 11, which is 27 years, I still feel like I'm not as good as I could have been. But I feel as if the last couple of years I'm getting back to I'm getting the rust off, shall we say?
Yeah.
I'm feeling back to my old self again.
Were you self-taught, or did you go have lessons?
I had
Go.
lessons at school from 11 to 14, but then since then it's just self-taught.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. With Blink 282. Um, I don't know, because it's a tribute band, so obviously you just learn all the Blink 182 songs. But
Yeah.
have you ever thought, or maybe one of the band members said, "Why don't we write our own material?"
We've
And
never discussed that really because
no,
Dan, the other bassist, is in a band of his own, which is another covers band. It's not a tribute band, but it does covers
yeah,
for a variety of different bands. Um, and Ryan, the guitarist, is in a band that he um, writes the songs for himself.
oh,
Um,
see,
but
okay,
also because we're so far away, the only time we really catch up is to make sure we're prepared for our gigs. And I think the time of being able to write new music is
yeah,
something that I'd love to go and do eventually. Because there's a few local bands that are starting around near me who are looking for a drummer.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Because you said that you sing as well, so
Yeah, I do
yeah.
like to sing, but it it's not playing the drums and singing at the same time. I like to sing acoustic music, and I've got a few guitarists that do some stuff for me, like open mic nights and things like that.
Oh, okay, so do you do gigs just on your own and play
Well,
guitar? Or?
to be honest, it's always been like for example, my tattoo in here is a microphone, an old school mic,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's hidden because for many years I enjoy singing, but I'd get too afraid to sing in public, and I'd get too nervous to sing in public. But then I ended up auditioning for X Factor um, back
Really?
in 2016, and I got from 2000 down to the last 200 in Manchester. But
Oh, wow.
I didn't get to the shows on TV. So when you see it on TV, it's they have to go through three processes to get there, even if they're bad or good. Um,
Oh,
but it gave me a bit of a confidence booster to do some more stuff. And I've wrote a few songs, so I like to write music.
yeah.
But in terms of actually singing, who knows? Maybe some things in the pipeline.
Yeah, yeah. But for now, you've got gigs.
Yeah,
Um, is it this month or next month?
yeah, yeah. Well, let me have a look at my calendar. It's yeah, the 20th. So it's Friday the 20th. We're at the Snig
It-
in Widnes, and then we're at the Horse in Catterick in Yorkshire on the 21st, and then on the 27th we're at Subside Bar in Birmingham, which is a great rock bar. So if any listeners are in Birmingham, get down to Subside on
yeah,
Friday the
Witness
27th.
and Catterick as well. Yeah,
Yes,
just
definitely.
well, the best thing really is to look you up on Instagram, because you don't have a Facebook page, and
Yes, definitely.
yeah,
Blink-282, all written word.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, I want to ask about the other things that I found out about you.
Okay. You've
I
been
was
doing your
actually
research.
well, when I was listening to it today, I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know about it." So you're personal trainer, and
That's right.
you've got your own company called Fitness Escapes,
That's correct. Yeah.
and you do retreats and boot camps. Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's right. So personal training retreats and boot camps, and that's why I was in Portugal. I've been in Portugal for 3 weeks, working at retreats out there.
Can you
Yes,
tell
it's
us more?
great.
Can you tell us more about this? And how do you tell them that you're a drummer as well, or
Yeah,
how
like the
different
good
this?
the good thing is that when it was COVID, obviously our gym got shut down, so I had to think outside the box, and I was doing live workouts from my front room, a bit like Joe Wicks was,
Oh,
and I ended up creating a virtual gym of about 520 members, 530 members, and one of the members was the owner of a retreat in Portugal, and he took part in one of my classes, and yeah, give me a message afterwards and basically said, I run retreats out in Portugal. Would you like to come out? And this was back in 2021. And then he realised I could speak Portuguese because of me living in Brazil. I'm fluent in Portuguese.
yeah.
So it really was a match made in heaven, really. So I went out there back in 2021 and yeah, delivered in the mountains in this perfect location. And not only that, being able to link, I always try and link my playlists to my exercise routines. So I got to choose my favorite songs and get people with my music passion as well as my fitness.
That's brilliant. And have you? I mean, obviously you've got your own drum kit as well.
I do, yeah.
Have you ever brought it over to Portugal and
I
maybe?
don't. I don't think he'd. I don't think he'd agree with that. The owner, Andrew. But I was saying to the guys today, actually, it'd be a perfect venue to have a gig or a party because there's a roof terrace and it could have about 300-400 people on it, and it's in the middle of nowhere, so there's no neighbours to make any noise. So it's yeah.
So how long does this retreat last? Is it a week
Yeah, it's a
or?
week. It's from Saturday to Saturday, and he runs about 12 or 14 of those a year himself, and then he rents the space out privately to other people who want to rent it. So hopefully, next year I'm going to rent it for my business as well.
Yeah, yeah. So do you get recognized as a personal trainer or as a drummer?
It depends where I am. But most of the time it's because of my job, especially around the Midlands where I am. My gym's in Peterborough, and my girlfriend lives in Stamford, and I live in Oakham, in Rutland. So it's a really small environment, and people know me as a personal trainer. But also, since all my posts recently over the last couple of years have had the Blink aspect, I try and link the two. So my personal page, I try and get both in.
Yeah, yeah. That's just fantastic.
It's kind of like a jack of all trades, but master of none.
And also from this podcast, I found out that you got accepted at UCLA when you were a teenager, but you didn't go
Yeah,
for some reason?
so basically, the reason why I went to, well, my main aim was to go to America. I wanted to do a football scholarship. So after
Yeah,
I left Peterborough, so I was at Nottingham Forest as a kid playing football, and then went to Peterborough United, and then I was at Leicester College playing in the National League, um, and then got the opportunity to go over to Brazil, which was supposed to be just for a month, to
yeah.
prepare me for going to America.
America, yeah, yeah.
But I ended up playing against a team out there in Brazil and did really well, and then they ended up wanting to sign me, and so I had to tell my parents I wasn't coming home, and I was staying in Brazil. So obviously, I was at a decision of, do I go to America and study and play football, or do I play professional in Brazil? And I chose the Brazil option. So yeah, the America thing never happened really.
If you hadn't had that injury, because that's really what cut the your football career
Yeah.
short, because you had an injury. If you hadn't had that, do you think you'd be more of a football player than a drummer?
Oh, that's a
Or
difficult question. Difficult. I think drums would have always been a passion that I'd have kept, but I wouldn't have necessarily had the time or the chance to gig. But my main
yeah,
aim was I always wanted to be a professional footballer. Um, the music was just a great escapism when I was playing and training every day for football. It was just great to have that on the side,
yeah,
because then I could go back and say, well, if I put all my effort into actually being a drummer, wondering where I'd be now, and I think I'd be a lot better than I am now. if I'd have chosen that instead of football.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad that. Well, I'm not glad that you had your injury.
No, I know what you mean. I
I'm
feel
just
like
happy
everything
that.
happens for a reason. Everything
Yeah,
definitely
that's
happens for a
true.
reason.
That's true. Yeah, I do believe in that as well. No, I'm glad that you're a drummer, and I know you're more your day job is a personal, no, what do you call it? So
Yeah,
a
personal trainer.
personal
Yeah,
trainer. But at least you still have time to do your drumming,
yeah.
and
I really think it's important. I think for any person that has a hobby, whether that's music, drums, guitar, whatever it is, it's I really see it as an escapism. It's not just about trying to be the best and obviously we want our band to sound good and we want people to enjoy it, but it's all about the enjoyment that that gives you and that like playing the drums. I'm sure you've asked every drummer you've asked for it's it's about the of what drumming brings and how it helps people to escape, sometimes escape life and escape things that happen just from being able to disappear in the music, I suppose.
do you think anyone can play the drums?
That's a good question. I I think because I was so young, and with me playing a lot of sport, I feel like my coordination was was quite good anyway. But if you asked me to remember my first few years of drumming, I probably couldn't remember. I think it was just consistency and practice and practice and practice. Even now, like learning to play with a click track is so different than what I've been used to. It's been tough, but it's just getting the consistency more than anything. And if you love something, then you're more likely to be consistent with it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I did try it myself, but no, it's not for me.
The hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, yeah. It's just not for me. Because I know people say that you can do it if you really put your heart into it, if you really want. But no, it's I think I'll just love drummers, but not be a drummer myself.
I was gonna ask you what got you into this podcast and what got you
I've
into
always,
enjoying drummers.
well, I've always loved drummers. I think even when I was young, there's something about the way they play and the way they look. And I just think drummers are like the coolest people on this planet.
Who's your favorite drummer?
Oh my god, I've got so many. I don't really want to say favorite, but whenever someone asks who will be my ultimate guest, I always say it's Rennie. If I can get
Okay,
Rennie on the show, then that would be absolutely amazing.
your life would be made.
Yeah, but well, no, because I remember when I was a Girl Scout, we
Okay.
had a snare drum, and I played the snare drum, but it's
Oh,
because
nice.
it wasn't really good because it's over my like it's like you put it over your head and then there's also
Mhm.
like doing like a marching thing.
Marching band. That's how
It's
Travis
mar-
started.
well, I just thought this is not good. It doesn't look cool. I wanted to play drums like proper drums,
Not
and
just
then when I
one. You wanted all of them.
yeah, not just so like marching with this thing. But anyways, I did try it. I went did like a 3 week crash course on drums, and no, I'd rather watch the drum tutor play than
Okay.
me learning. But
Then you
anyway,
doing it.
yeah. Right. So I've got a few more questions before I let you go because I know you're a bit tired from
No,
practice.
that's fine.
Um, One of them is if you could drum for any band, either
Apart from Blink-182.
apart from Blink. Oh, well, you're doing Blink-282, apart from Blink-182, but any band, past band or current,
Oh
which
wow.
band would it be?
That is a very tough question. I think um, Nirvana would have to be up there. I love Dave Grohl. Um, I
Did you
think that
get ticket? Did you find out about Dave Grohl playing Foo Fighters playing at Manchester? The
Yeah, I know. I couldn't get tickets because I wasn't in Manchester at the time.
Race.
I was so gutted. One of my friends got managed to go. She was front row. I was very jealous.
Well, when I found out about that, I was at a record fair in Leeds, and there's the
Oh,
other
okay.
guy that I know who goes to a lot of gigs as well. And I told him about it. I said, "Oh my God, Foo Fighters are playing in Manchester, but you've got to go to the Ritz and buy the tickets
Buy
from
the
there."
ticket straight. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. There was the same in London because I'm actually closer where I live to London, but I
Yeah,
just couldn't get down there in time, and I was at work. But
yeah,
yeah, I've heard it was. I mean, looking at the videos, it was awesome. But yeah, it'd be Nirvana or Foo Fighters, um, and Green Day. I love their type of music.
yeah,
Trey Crew's a great drummer, but holding absence as well, with really looking at Ashley Green and how he developed some of those albums before he's moved on. I like listening to those music, but also it's a different style than the punk that Blink obviously play, so it gives me a bit of versatility. It's a bit more emo metal, like a bit heavier,
yeah.
which is good fun.
What do you think of, well, going back to Foo Fighters? Um, would you, I don't want to say would you rather have Dave Grohl playing drums?
It wouldn't be Foo Fighters though, would it? If
Well, no, also like with Nirvana, the drummer of Nirvana, and
yeah.
then maybe so like
Well, I think
a
this is why
like
Queens of the
singer.
Stone Age was so successful. With Queens of the Stone Age, with Dave Gold drumming for Queens of the Stone Age, that was such a when they came out for like knowing that he was back behind the kit again, you can see that that's really his passion. And don't get me wrong, he's a great singer and a great front man and a guitarist, but you can
Yeah,
see that he was always a drummer first and foremost. And I love his energy.
yeah, yeah. You know when drummers. I mean, obviously you've got drummer friends as well.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah,
And I mean, with being from where I'm from, I live in the smallest county in the UK, so it's a really small area to grow up. So when somebody else was playing the drums, we'd always kind of connect. There's a drummer that used to be in my school. He was a year above me. He's actually a musician for theatre on the West End now, Mike Brazier. So he does a lot of drumming down for the main shows down there, and he was in a band local to me and loved Green Day as well. But now he's so versatile, playing so many different types like jazz and if there's somebody you wanted on your podcast, then I could definitely get in touch with Mike
oh
Brazier,
yeah,
and I'm sure he'd love to do it.
and well, what I was going to say because Lol Tolhurst from The Cure, he once said that all drummers are friends. But when
Yeah.
you like meet with all your drummer friends, do you talk drum talk all the time, or do you sort of like compare kits and
A
things
little
like
bit.
that?
It makes
Yeah,
me. This is why I love playing the drums now. It makes me feel like a teenager again, and it makes me feel so young that we can have these silly conversations, really, about disputing who's better, and also all the technical talk of, the tempos and the different tracks, and then trying to keep in time like a metronome. We see who's got the best skills of keeping in time,
oh,
um, without the click. Um, and yeah, I'm not fortunate enough to know many drummers around my area, but to be honest, it's all about how social media has evolved, so I can look at those and learn from them.
yeah, yeah. When you were at the spinning top, is that a house kit or is it your own drum kit that you?
That was I can't remember whether I bought mine. It was mine. That was my
It's
kit.
yours.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was my
'Cause I
kit.
think it's got the logo, that wasn't it? It's got the. Did they have like a Blink-282 logo?
I had some of the famous stickers that Travis has, but I'm
But
actually getting a drum head for our band done at the
yeah,
moment, so that'll be
yeah.
good.
Well, the other band, a covers band,
Yeah,
uh,
warped.
they used your Warped. That's right. Yeah, they used your drum kit. So are you not too precious about your drum kit? You're okay to share it with other bands
I
and
I think I think when it got to a point where it's we're drummers are precious about their how do you call it? Your breakables, as we say.
Breakables, yeah.
So
Okay.
the cymbals, the drum pedal, the snare drum, um, and anything else, the shells, is just standard drums really. But you don't really see yourself using other people's cymbals and snare, because they're tuned. Well, not the cymbals, but the snare drums tuned to your type of music, and yeah, it's kind of your baby as a drummer, your snare drum and your your cymbals.
But you don't mind sharing.
I
You
don't
don't mind
mind. I don't mind. Yeah.
sharing. Okay. Um, before I actually set up the studio this evening, I also went on YouTube because I saw Travis Barker does a lot of tricks, like
Oh
drumstick
yeah,
tricks.
yeah. The spinning tricks. Yeah.
Do you do that? Do
I've
you
I've
try
tried to do a
that?
few.
Yeah.
I've tried to do a few, especially in practice and a few gigs, but um, a few haven't gone down so well. I've lost a few sticks doing it, but it's all good fun. I think it's more about the confidence and the practice of that skill. I mean, with him doing the marching band stuff earlier on in his career, that really helped him get the technical ability. Um, I do a few of the spins, the spins and play, but it's something I've always tried to get a little bit better at. But I'm definitely not a magician at that.
Because I was watching him twirling the sticks, and I'm like, oh my god! Because he says that sometimes when he's watching the TV, he just sort of like
Yeah, he'll
twirls.
just do it automatically.
Or even when someone's driving, he said that he'll just, he'll just do things like.
Yeah, or slapping the steering wheel. We all do that as drummers, I'm sure.
So that has to be something that you've got to master yourself, so that you can, being a Travis Barker. So like,
Definitely, and I try and I mean, like I said at the beginning, he's such a hard person to impersonate because he's so good,
yeah,
and I just try and do the best I can to give off the energy and the atmosphere that Blink create on stage,
yeah,
um, and if we're having a good time, then hopefully the crowd have a good time. That's all that we like to do. And if we're giving as much energy as we can, then it kind of gives and takes between the crowd and us.
yeah. Next question is: apart from Travis Barker, who else are your drumming heroes?
When I was growing up, I there was a session drummer called Thomas Lang. He's a
Thomas
German
Lang.
German drummer,
Yeah.
and he's played in numerous different bands, or for singers in the recording bands and on stage. But he released a DVD which I was trying to follow to the T, and he's won Drummer of the Year in many competitions earlier on in my career and when I was at school especially. But Thomas Lang, from Germany, and like I said before, Dave Grohl, Ashley Green, Trey Cool, but also Daniel Jensen. I have to give a shout out to him. He's Travis Barker's drum tech. Um,
Oh,
and he's always doing things on YouTube of actually walking around the studio and giving a really good description of the layout and the setup of his kit, and even down to what heights he has it and the tuning and the tempo, so you can really try and match what you've got for your own kit.
yeah.
I'd eventually love to have a DW kit that is of Travis's, but it's a lot of money. It's a good amount of money. I'd probably have to sell my car.
You haven't got a drum tech yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. We're definitely not big enough for that yet. I mean, I'd love to just be able to turn up and play, but no, we have to set it up and put it down ourselves and haulage everything about. But it's part of the fun.
Yeah. I've actually doing as the drummer. I've actually sort of like realized the importance of having a drum tech, because
Yeah,
especially for big bands, because you can't really you've got to protect the drummer, because if he's trying to sort of like tune
yeah.
whatever, or maybe something happens, then
It's like the gig at the Spinning Top. we were it's 3 hours for us to drive, so we were driving throughout the day. We have to get there obviously to load in at about 4 o'clock, set everything up. It's obviously a really long day, but I mean I wouldn't change it. There's no complaints from me. I love it, but it is tough when you finish the gig and then you've got to then pack everything away again, load everything in, go to your next venue, and
Yeah.
rather than just having someone else kind of set everything up and do it for you. And there was an incident actually at Subside last year where my snare drum broke during the gig, so the actual chain snapped off and I didn't have a spare. So normally with a drum check they'd be able to swap it over and bring it up, so I managed to make do with a bit of gaffer tape and stuck it on. I managed to get the last few songs out, and it was funny. The crowd still kept the energy, and we managed to get it done. But now I have a spare at all times.
Well, I think that will be something for my next question, which is drumming disasters.
Oh, there's one. March last year, the chain snapped on the snare drum, so it just sounded like another tom. So I ended up having to rip it off. They had to delay the crowd and was doing some guitar while I was on my hands and knees trying to stick it in. Obviously, I've dropped sticks, which I'm sure every drummer has, but then luckily you can just pull two straight back out again.
What about the bass drum running away?
Yeah, I've definitely put my foot through a bass drum, which then we had to have an interval so I could replace the head. But it's all part of the fun.
Yeah, that's right. Well, come to my last question now. So, what would be your advice to aspiring drummers or musicians in general?
Patience, and consistency. Like you're not going to get it first time. Slow everything down. So even if you're trying to learn a really fast punk rock beat, just take it back and take it right back to a really simple, and do it in stages. And just be consistent and patient with it, and also focus on your fitness as well. It's a tough thing to sit behind and work out for a good. I mean, let's have a look. I actually kept my watch on today, and I never normally do that, and it's told me I've done 35,000 steps, even though I've been sat behind the drum kit. So it's told me, it shows how much energy you burn and how many calories you burn. And obviously, yes, I am a personal trainer, but I don't think I'd be able to do half the gigs I do without having the fitness to match it, because the energy has to be there to keep your mind on time, not just your body.
Yeah. And when are you coming back to the Spinning Top?
We actually got a message from them not long after we did the gig, and we'd love to try and get up there and then do a few closer to Manchester. Our aim is to hit the bigger cities, of trying to Leeds, Manchester, Nottingham. So if you know any venues, then let us know.
Well, do you want to just tell our viewers again about the 3 gigs that you've got for this month? And
definitely. We've got the let's get the map up. And the calendar. It's the 20th. Friday the 20th. We're at the Snig in Widnes, in Liverpool and Warrington, and then we're in Catterick at the Bay Horse in Yorkshire, which is on the 21st, so a day later. And then the week later, we're at Subside Bar in Birmingham, which is on the Friday the 27th. And then we've got a good few coming up in June. So we're back down in Hereford at the Victory. And then we're also, that's on the 13th. And then we've also got a charity gig in Bedford in August on the 1st, as well as then we're playing with a McFly tribute band at the Cobblestones in Somerset, and that's on August the 8th. So we're combining there.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really busy year for you.
We're going to try and keep getting more. So we're definitely up for traveling. Traveling's not an issue. It's not always about the money. It's about the enjoyment. So if we can travel there and we can get our kit there, we'll play.
Yeah, so any gig promoters out there,
definitely
always contact.
Get in touch.
Get in touch via Instagram, or you're on Facebook yourself. So
I'm on Facebook myself. Yeah,
even if the band's not on Facebook, you're on Facebook, so they can contact you.
definitely.
Well, thank you so much, Danny, and hopefully I'll get to see you and Blink-282 again. Uh,
Definitely, and thank you so much for having me on, and congratulations on 200 episodes.
oh, thank you. I mean, I just really love chatting to drummers and finding out more about them. I mean, there's so many bands that I love, but you can't always just Google every single drummer. You've
No,
got to have
exactly.
a reason why you're Googling them. So I think having Ask the Drummer podcast is the best way of doing it.
It's a
Ask
great
them.
way to find out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you and good luck with all the gigs. And hopefully see you again soon. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for
much,
your time.
Anne.
See
Thank
you.
you.
See you
Take care of
then.
yourself.
Okay.
See you guys.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you to Danny Barker. He's absolutely amazing. It was when I found out that he's um, a football player when he was a teenager and also a fitness or personal trainer as well, having his own company. It's a brilliant podcast, the one that I found on online when he's talking about like mindset and everything. It's all about positivity and things. So yeah. Anyways, you can Google it. Look for Danny Baker, Danny Barker. Sorry, sorry, Danny Barker. Um, Positivity podcast. I think that's what it's called. And then have a listen. It's really good. Anyways, thank you all so much. We'll be back again next week, next Sunday, with another awesome drummer on the show. It'll be the 201st episode. Uh, Tomorrow, I'm going to be at the record fair in Kids Grove. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, in Kids Grove. So, and then there's going to be art exhibition or photo exhibition by Karen McBride. She's like a legend in Manchester. So that's at the Yard in Manchester tomorrow evening, if you can make it. Um, I think it's a free event, but you've got to just get a free ticket. So either check it on Facebook or just Google online. It's Karen McBride, and it's at the Yard in Manchester. Anyways, I gotta go because it is quite late now. It's nearly 9 o'clock in the evening, and hopefully